So, what are you hoping to see coming out of the European scene, Cypher?
Well, there's a lot of really stacked teams, so we're gonna see some crazy plays, some good matchups. I'm interested to see how people use the floating Loot Lake Island. I'm actually not even sure where it is right now on the map. It's constantly moving.
Constantly.
Last I checked, it was somewhere near the middle.
That's right.
Near Dusty
right between Dusty and Tilted Towers. Things are happening. Things are moving. Let's not forget, we also have returning competitor Alanis Mitro here, who is paired up with someone he's very familiar with. So, you know, it's going to be a pretty interesting day, all things considered. But taking a look at the current bus, it's not the most ideal bus, right? You have a little bit of a less room to play with, because now you have to make these farther travels to say, like down at Lucky Landing, even the likes of Fatal Fields and Flush Factory. You have to be in the air longer.
Yeah, and the longer you are in the air, you know, the people who land early, they'll have more materials. You know, you could land and people will already have a few hundred materials and shields and weapons. It'll be interesting to see how people use that center island, because I've watched a few scrims recently, and having control of that island late game is very vital when it comes to maneuvering around the map. So you'll see people fighting on there, and you'll see people sitting on there waiting for the circle to push them out.
Right off the bat, take a look at this. Solary, MZ, and Airwalks. One of the very powerful guys. Start the game with a quad launcher. That's what you like to see, man. I actually caught up with Myth earlier on in the week, and he was very excited to see people utilizing the quad launcher more. It's very effective, especially when you're fighting against people that are kind of turtling. You can force them to take fights.
Very rapid shots. A lot different than any of the other explosives in the game. Yeah. Razaru is here, and he's contested. Him and his partner are going Fnatic Jarl, and his partner are at Motel right now. They're very limited on their resources, but I can definitely see him using some of these boogie bombs to try to turn the fight around. The boogie bombs recently got changed to where they drop in stacks of 2. And it's extremely useful when it comes. Oh, Chef also has a set of boogie bombs, so that's 4 boogie bombs for Chef and Razaru.
So they're gonna make it rain boogie bombs.
Oh, they're gonna be dancing, yes. So if they can use these properly, they can clean up this very easily. Even a really good player getting hit with a boogie bomb, a lot of times people become very predictable. They start jumping up and down. When somebody jumps, there's only one way they can go. They can go down, and these players are experienced enough to land that headshot on the jump.
Yeah.
Now Beehive, he has the portal rift, so if they need to get out of here, they can. There's also some rifts right outside, so it'll be interesting to see. I think both these teams right now are just kind of, they want to see what the other team wants to do. Are they going to fight? Are they going to, rotate out? They're playing it very safe, and that's just kind of how you have to go in the early game.
Yeah, Razor is definitely familiar with this type of territory. This is not a new place to him. He cracks Beehive, though. I really hope, like you're saying, man, just use the boogie bombs. Chuck one out. At least then you have 3 left in reserves. You won't lose too much. Now it looks like he's going to get aggressive. You heard one of the boogies go off there. Jarl making that rotation around. Beehive's dropped low as well.
Razor's really weak right now.
Is he going to go down? He's solo.
He went down. It's a 1v2 right now. They haven't used the boogie bombs yet. I don't think they even can at this point.
Not fast enough. Jarl and Beehive make quick work of the 2 there. And now Motel is theirs. Now, keep in mind, there wasn't really much healing around in general. So, unfortunately, Beehive is going to be having to deal with this small health pool for now. But like you talked about, man, they've got all these rifts here. They also have the rift to go as well. So they can make some rotations. There's
maybe a vending machine that could have shields or medkits available. You always got to remember the vending machines. A lot of people tend to forget them. Right. But when you're left alone like that, you can farm, and you could potentially get medkit or a shield or minis off of the vending machine. Retail Row, 2 teams here as well. They're both busy farming and collecting loot. Some good weapons on Pathway, the silenced epic assault rifle and the golden heavy sniper. So
that's what you just like start the game. You're just like, let me just find the most secret weapon and the strongest weapon all in one go.
Both sitting at 100 shields, both farming. They have a good amount of materials for the early game. There's a team, you can see there's a team rotating from the trucks up north. So we might see them collide here, or those guys might just back out.
Over to Rasmussen and Azrod, who are actually near that floating island like you talked about. And again, I mean, just look how many people are close by. Alliance taking Sif down below in Dusty Divot. We saw a team down south from them. This is the team inside the divot right now. I mean, look, there's even a duo within the actual divot itself, farming up materials, collecting loot. I'm actually kind of digging this circle. It's not, I would consider this like a safe circle. You know, not many people have to go that far to get into the safe zone, which is good.
Speaking of the circle, a lot of times teams who land in the center, you know, they might be contested, but if they can either eliminate the teams that contest them or rotate away, the benefit of being in the middle and being in the initial circle is you have a lot more time to farm and collect, you know, weapons and materials and get your shields up, while the teams that are away from the circle, you know, they still have enough time to farm, but then they also have to account for rotating into the circle and potentially getting into fights. Over. Mark. Ooh.
He's not looking good over at Snobby Shores. He's currently
got the trap down.
Does it? Eclipse, one player adds is dropped low, but he is now down, and they are going to execute him for that elimination. That was actually super. He goes down. Ads goes down. His teammate is up top. Riddle gets it down. Is it enough?
That is insane. That he walked into the trap even though it was already up. He must have forgotten about it or just gotten a little bit distracted. But I cannot believe he walked into that trap again. They really fumbled that, to be honest with you. That was theirs to win, and unfortunately did not go their way. Little build fight over here.
Lucky Landing, seeing some action. Now keep in mind, the storm is starting to move. We got a minute 30 before it overtakes this area. So they need to start making this disengage. Dalo and Dollar Games against Jules and his teammate. Now they've got the high ground. I mean, look, they got the porta fort. The mats are looking really great. 679 wood.
Oh, that's a really good first shot right there.
Jules is not looking too pretty right now. He's going to go down. Now the question is, where is Jules' teammates? Down below. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Dollar Games is just keeping his
pouncing on him.
It's Brox there, Uncle Brox. And now look, they just keep him down. They just have to keep him pinned down, keep him away from Jules. But look, Cypher, the storm is
already coming in.
in.
This is one of the downsides of landing near the edge of the map is if you get into these fights and they last too long, both you and the team that you are fighting could potentially get eaten up by the storm.
Now Brox could turn this whole thing around. He just needs to hit his shots. Dalo here. I mean, he already cracked Dalo. He's got no more shields.
But I mean, even winning this fight, it's not really a true win for them because the storm, the lack of resources. So like these guys, you know, luckily for him, he has a med kit and maybe they have some loot that they acquired from eliminating those opponents. But now they got to rotate in the storm. Low on resources, low on materials. When you get into those early game fights, it's almost like you're trying to eliminate the opponents without using as many resources as possible. But if you don't use enough, you might lose the fight. So it's a bit of a mind game. Like, should I spend 500 resources here to try to eliminate these guys? Should I rotate away? And you try to win with as minimal, you know, building as possible. But sometimes you build too little, you end up losing the fight.
Right, exactly. Now Blackso here engaged. He's coming out of the storm. Ooh, almost takes fall damage, but he's okay. Now he drops and cracks that player for a lot. We've seen the kill feed. Heisel has knocked out Dollar Games, and Madsen takes down Yoshi. And look, Madsen is dropped super low. So down below, Solar Yoshi's just chilling. Genside Madsen is like, I'm gonna med. Solar Yoshi, I promise I will do my best to protect you.
Good pyramid right there to block him from entering. There is a trap here, I believe, so he's gonna be a little bit more cautious trying to get in there. I think his teammate just took him out.
Yep. There you go. Both are eliminated. Poverty and Yoshi goes down. And now they get some more loot. You know, again, they're at the very edge of this circle. Not super great for them. They need to start making the rotation. You can see the little yellow diamonds up by Lazy Links. That is Blackso and his teammate Madsen. But look, we're over near Tilted. Look at
Tilted. You see those people flying across. Most of them are using the Loot Lake floating island, and they're getting in there. So there's going to be a lot of people. I mean, there's already a lot of people in that area, and the reason because of that is because of the Loot Lake Island. People are using that to rotate, and there's more teams that are going to be rotating in right now, and I don't know if they realize how many people they're jumping into. Now, luckily, there's a lot of cover in Tilted Towers, but they got to be careful here. It's gonna get really tricky, especially if this next circle goes even further towards Snobby Shores. All those teams rotating out of there, it's gonna get messy. It's gonna be a lot of people going down.
Yeah, for sure. I think they should try to make rotations down by like Shifty. I mean, the assumption would be if you're going to make rotations, they're going to Tilted, right? So
yeah.
use the Floating Island Vortex, get down by Shifty, and rotate around by Greasy. But Crabble here with Carnifex. Rift Raiders currently engaged in Pleasant Park. Boogie Bomb on the floor. He picks it up. Ooh, they get cracked for just a little bit. Now, Carnifex still okay. He's topped off. He's ready to go. They also have the med kit.
Yeah.
Yep. But look, it's Mitro and his teammate Vilex.
That is a scary duo to be going against right now. And they've got him pinned inside here. They've got materials. They've got shields. And they're playing aggressive. Like, at this point, they've already invested enough time to these guys. They want the elimination. They want the resources. You know, when you, like, they're investing their time instead of, you know, looting or farming, because they feel like they can eliminate these guys and whatever they have is now theirs.
Right, it's like worth it to them, right?
Yes.
There we go. Crabble going down. Carnifex
crawling towards the trap to try to get him. But these guys are smart enough. They're not going to walk into the trap. There's no way. It's a 1v2 situation right now.
What's interesting is they don't execute Crabble there. They're just leaving him up alive. They're kind of forcing his teammate to come and try and get him.
There we go.
There you go. He takes him down. And now they're sitting okay. We saw Mitro, he was low before, so he tops out with that med kit. And like you're talking about, man, to them, they feel like this whole engagement is worth it. It's valuable. If they can find Carnifex, that's 500 potential brick heading their way as well.
And they need it. At this point, they've already, like, they haven't wasted time, but in their mind, if they don't come out of this with the loot that these guys have, then it's been a waste.
Wow, Crabble. Mitro takes him down.
That was a good attempt. That was a good attempt coming in there with the pump. He really had to. When you're in a 1v2 situation like that, you just have to like risk it. You can't play too safe. You have to hope that you land your shot and potentially knock one of them out with a well-placed pump shotgun shot. So that was a good attempt. But Mitro and Vilex, they're scary.
They're scary, man. Raid bosses indeed. Look at the top there. Teekzie, Kinstaar, 4 eliminations. So Cypher, they've got themselves a point on the board. It's pretty good. Now keep in mind, we still have plenty of players left in this match, so you got to think they're probably thinking about that most eliminations single match. They're probably been thinking about the likes of a Royale flush. They're halfway there, just on Teekzie by himself. And here's the thing, is obviously Kinstaar doesn't have any eliminations, which tells me Kinstaar is the shield up front. He's like, look, I'm going to build, I'm going to distract you. Teekzie, you can run in, go full send, get the eliminations, my friend. Let's take a look at this replay from Dalo and Dollar Games. Oh, this was
the fight we fought earlier. Yeah, we watched earlier. You know, a lot of times when somebody has the 0 limbs and their partner has a little bit more, it could just be that their partner is the finisher.
Right.
You know, you could do a lot of damage like from a distance, and then your partner goes in and finishes them off just like right
like
here.
That. Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, so it's not to say that, you know, Kinstaar's not good because he doesn't have eliminations. Yeah. It's just his teammate, Teekzie, finds those, that we would say like the final blow, if you will, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for all we know, Kinstaar could have done the most damage.
99 damage.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, you know, this is a team game.
That's right.
The limbs is what matter. I'd be very interested to see where Kinstaar and Teekzie currently are on the map in terms of their positioning, because if they are in near the tilted area, if they have the resources, they could get a lot more eliminations and maybe be our first team to get that Royale flush.
Ooh, you gotta wonder if that's going to be the case. I mean, people like, here's the thing though, it's not even like the likes of Kinstaar, who is an incredible player. We see him make it to top 10 every game. Mitro, still alive, still running around this game. He's a terror. Even the likes of someone like Rasmussen, another player in Atlantis, Kinzo, even Ghost is his duo partner. There's a lot of stacked duos here. And again, this is just game 1, right? This is just like that filler, that feel it out game, right?
Yeah.
People are just like, first game, just warm up, just see what happens.
Typically, game 1s are played a little bit slower. People want to just get the feel of it. Maybe get a point or two place, make it to the final. There's a big influence on, you know, your confidence levels when you make it to the final 10 on your first game. You feel like, okay, we have what it takes to make it there. Let's keep doing that. But getting knocked out early on the first game, it can definitely drive your momentum down for the rest of the tournament. And a lot of these guys know that, so they wanna do well for their first game. Some clingers coming in.
He's even got the
they're committing
clinger as well.
Clingers and
over to Tilted though. Skosis and Dav. Man, again, take a look at the top right of the mini-map. Just look how many players are in close proximity of each other right now. This is going to be a battleground, all right?
Definitely.
Now, what's good... Oh, I thought that scared me for a moment. They're wearing the same skin. Okay, good. What's going to be tough here, like you talked about a little bit, it's just kind of navigating the space, right? We're kind of... A lot of these players have already made their way into the safe zone, and they fortified. They're ready to go. They've picked their spot. But now it's on these other guys to make it through safely.
Yeah, and when it comes to rotating out of this, you need excess materials, you need launch pads, you need shockwave grenades. If you don't have that, then you're actively searching for teams to eliminate who potentially might have that, or get the resources that you need. A lot of times, people will play safe when they have the resources, but for example, right here, Evil has 380 metal. I don't know how many materials his partner has, but they're trying to get these elims because they know that if they want to win, if they want to make it past this point on this next rotation, they need some more materials. And that's why they're playing very aggressive here, and they're going for the risk. And it's going to pay off. There's a chug jug, there's some materials. Great pressure from these guys. Holding the low ground, playing safe, shooting from the edited window, and now the materials are stacked, and they've got chug jugs, so now they have a better chance at potentially moving out of this area and going into the safe zone.
That's a great point. They've only got 45 seconds left to make these rotations as well, but again, just look at how cluttered that area is, and now look, the new safe zone.
They're already in the safe zone.
They're good to go, and that's a Kinstaar call. I'm gonna tell you right now, Kinstaar is the guy that says, look, we need to make it to these safe zones, we're gonna fortify, and we're gonna show people that we're here. Because the thing is, as well, Kinstaar builds a very specific way, so when you see it, you're like, oh,
yeah,
that's Kinstaar.
Nice little tunnel they have going on here, replacing the enemy walls with their own, just fortifying it. Sharing the shields. It's good to communicate with your teammate. Make sure that you guys are both even when it comes to materials and shield count. And sometimes you will want one person to hold more, especially if they have like more health and you're more prone to going down. But they both are healthy and they both are sharing the resources well. So I'm really hoping that they can pull this off because I'm pretty sure. Are they on the Bush Bandits?
Who are?
Teekzie and Kinstaar.
Let me take a look for you.
Oh, man.
They are not.
Oh, they're not? Okay,
they are not.
I take everything I said back. I hope they go down the next 10 seconds.
Oh, my gosh. Over to Paffy and Noisy, though.
See, this is where it gets a little scary because what happens is if you get caught out of place and you look weak, if you look weak to the people around you, everyone will kind of have like a gentleman's agreement to start shooting at you. You want to look strong, you want to look like you have a lot of materials and that you can defend yourselves. Because now these guys are getting attacked with grenade launchers, but they're doing a good job of defending and putting the walls up, so people might stop shooting at them. But if at any moment you look like you're taking too much damage or that you're running low on resources because you're cycling through your materials, everyone around you is going to make it their job to try to take you out. Now right here, Paffy is
not looking good.
He's not looking good, and more people are going to potentially start shooting at them once they realize that.
That's such a great point, because like, even looking up just a little north, you see a player that's just med-kitting. No one's shooting at them at all.
Yeah.
Whereas Kinstaar and Teekzie, of course, everyone's like, hey, pile on these guys, make them use their mats, we'll shoot at each other. Don't shoot at us, shoot at them. Look at them, they're the threat.
62 players alive. By the time this next circle goes up that hill, part of it is up on the hill, I see that number going from 60 down to like 20. We're about to lose 40 people potentially, because this is a tough rotation. And most of the people on the map are away from the circle. And the people who are near the circle, they still might have to go up that hill. So,
especially with the safe zone is like half encompassed in the storm.
Yeah.
So you have a super small space to work in. I mean, look at it again. You see people on top of each other right now and continue to make their way into that current safe zone. That's a great point, though, Cypher. Look, this is going to get really crazy really quickly.
And when it comes to these late game rotations, a lot of times you try to get away with, rotating without using materials, and you hope that people just let you by. You hope that people just ignore you and focus on their own rotation. And if you can get away with rotating without using that, look at all this loot right here.
Oh my, that's another player.
He's trying to snack their loot. That did not go well.
For it. Oh no, it was Paffy.
Oh, the Porter Rift, that is so clutch.
And now
did he pick that up or did he have it with him?
Yeah, I believe he picked it up, and now they can make this clean rotation. And Mitro's like, look, I want to go in. I want to steal the high ground. They are so
They need one
close.
more for another point. But like I said, that you need those resources to make those late game rotations, and that's why people play a little bit more aggressive, especially if they're low on resources. Kinstaar is very weak right now, and him and Teekzie are just running around, and they're hoping that they don't get shot. You see, they're not really. That's a great shot from Teekzie, but they're not really building because they want to see if they can get away with it. That's kind of the whole way. You're like, okay, please let me buy. Yeah. Let me buy. Let me try to get it through here without spending too many materials. And if they can do that, that's great.
And that's a great point because you can utilize other players' builds to do that.
Yes.
But as you can see, they're onto it. They're like, hey, we see you guys. Nice try. And so now Teekzie and Kinstaar are in a bad spot, right? They have to sit here and fortify while everyone is just barraging them now.
And if more people find out that Kinstaar is down, there'll be more shots coming through here. But I think it's hectic enough for him to pick up Kinstaar right now.
Over to Mitro and Villex, who are maintaining a nice little high ground here. I'm not even surprised, man. Mitro with 5 eliminations, just like you talked about. He's one away from getting 2 points on the board for his duo.
Did Mitro win last week?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, wait. You mean like overall? Who was the winner?
Overall?
In Europe?
Yes.
I will get word on that because I'm not 100% certain. Let me get word.
I mean,
but he did really
the top.
Really well. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's very consistent. Very, very consistent. One of the most consistent European competitors I've ever watched.
They've got 6 eliminations. They're super close. And now look at the new safe zone. They've got to make their way back into the storm. What's interesting too is back over old builds, but Villex is down, and it's not looking great.
It's up to Mitro. He's not going to be able to pick up the
Yeah, he just needs to go. Yeah, Villex is down.
He's got enough materials to try to make this work, and he's got the grappler, which is going to be really, really useful during his rotation. And you see, he's not even building anything right here. He's just using other people's builds and hoping he doesn't get focused. Looks like he wants to maintain the high ground, but maybe now that his partner's down, it might be a little too tough. Storm's closing in on him there, so he has to be careful. Keep moving.
There is a lot of players going down. We're down to 28. The new safe zone is going to start moving in 10 seconds, Cypher. It's almost time to go. And I am getting word Boyer won last week.
Yes.
Mitro, though, putting up those big numbers as well. So here we go, Cypher.
Teekzie
It's time to start moving.
Still alive. They've got 5. They've got 6, actually. 2 more eliminations.
Yep.
They'll get the extra point.
That's right, at 8.
And in terms of placement, was it the top? First place gets the 3 points.
Yep. Victory Royale is worth 3. Second and third are worth 2. Fourth and fifth are worth 1 point. Yep. So now they're probably shifting their mindset a little bit, right? They're like, okay, well, there's 30 of us. Could we play for top 5? Well, I don't know. There's still 30 of us.
There's still 30.
Yeah.
So we're talking 15th, 16th place right here if you go down.
Yep.
They're just I guess some people are hoping that they just don't get noticed a little bit and that they're able to make it to the top 5.
That's right.
And then the people who are, maybe 1 or 2 limbs away from getting a point, they might be looking for that. Wild card Bowman and Alpha have that high ground.
I believe it's Solary Kinstaar who takes down Mitro. And look at the kill feed light up. People are being eliminated left and right. Alliance Tumble takes down 2. So now they need 1 more, Cypher. They're so close. They have the potential to get the Royale flush right now. We see people going down. Kinstaar goes down, though. He's currently knocked. Teekzie is by himself, dude. And they've got the 8 eliminations, Cypher.
Yes, they do. And I would be very surprised if Teekzie picks up Kinstaar here because it'll be the 2nd time and he's running from the storm. No, I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Looks like it's going up the hill, so he will be going down here.
It just needs to be Teekzie. He needs to go by himself. He's got the double barrel.
Oh my goodness. 10 eliminations total. 8 from Teekzie alone, and he's looking for more. There's 9. He's gonna get the double digits. Oh, the storm just stopped moving. There's 2 people on top of him. They know he's there. They can hear him breaking. He's got to be extra careful. He's going to replace these walls. He has enough materials, sort of, to try to get this out. But the thing is, as soon as the storm starts closing, it's going to be closing towards the center. And he won't be in the center. There's no way he can get there. Yeah, unless he tries to maneuver out of here.
Yeah, he's got to go now.
But it's going up the hill. Oh my.
He could make it. It's going to be really close. Double barrel down. He's going to find another.
Going for the spread. They're all looking at him.
Not enough, but Teekzie and Kinstaar land 11 elims in the first game. We're down to final 8.
So hectic. 2 elims
6 players left suddenly. I'm sorry,
wow.
King win.
King win.
The duo of Heisel and Tyovsky. Oh, he's
8 limbs.
9. Cypher,
9.
this is all going down. What just happened? We've gone down. Cypher, what just happened?
Okay. The wildcard duo, they had the high ground. At no point were they being contested due to the fact that it was going up a hill. So everybody who was climbing up the hill were fighting each other. And they were able to just stay up top and avoid all the combat. So they get that easy victory royale. And it's good that they held the high ground early on.